Recording in progress.
Hello, everyone. I need to see a thumbs up if you can hear me and see me okay. All right, y'all. I am most definitely. Yes, Steve.
Are you in the are you in the back of a police car?
I am in the back of my personal car. You see, what happened was my oldest, the drummer, he is in his youth group. They're doing an entire worship session at another high school on Wednesday. And tomorrow we have plans so they can't practice. So they have to practice tonight. Well, where is the drum set, Steve? In my house. So I am parked in my driveway. Jeremy got me all hooked up. I actually have a real live plug in the back of this Jeep. I mean, this whole setup, I know it looks like I'm like beaming from heaven right now with these like whatever, but here I am. And when you got to do what you got to do, you pivot, you get flexible, and you make it happen. So I'm in the back of my Jeep and it's on. It's on. Yeah. And so our neighbor comes over as I'm getting in the back of the Jeep and she goes, "Did you hear the news?" And I'm like, "No, what is it?" Well, her husband just totaled their Jeep. And I said, "Well, I'm about to zoom in the back of my Jeep. He's okay. Everybody's fine." But neighbors walking over, about 5 minutes before I get started, looking at me get in the back of my Jeep were all weird. So, you know, welcome to a normal day in Texas. I'm in a t-shirt because it's 75 degrees here, Steve.
Whoa! It's
Yeah.
it was 53 here today, which was amazing. Sandra, was it warm in Iowa?
That
Was
is
it?
a heat wave. It is
Yeah.
11 on my dash right now. So
Ooh.
I hope the rest of you are warming up. Welcome to the best Zoom of the week. Now, you don't normally see me in the back of my Jeep. Normally, I am comfortable in a chair in office somewhere. So just thank you for understanding and for your forgiveness on that. My kiddos are practicing, and you would not be able to hear me if I was inside. Tonight, we don't have a whole lot to go over, but I do want to tell you this. At the very last, I'm going to call for a Q&A time. Okay? This is going to make a lot of you excited. At the very end is going to be a Q&A. So if you have some questions you've been dying to ask, things you want to know, where to find, what to do, how to do it, what they do, whatever it is, write down that question. And when I ask for it, we're going to get it. Okay? So if you're brand new here, welcome. We love welcoming new faces. That's how we grow. That's how we get the word out. We had a fantastic meeting this past Wednesday. Thank you so much, Steve, for flying down from Wisconsin for that. Thank you, Crystal, for flying down from Minnesota. Where is Lori Radecki? I'm looking on my screen. She's probably still traveling about. Thank you, Lori, for driving. Her flight was canceled and she drove from Tennessee. And the rest of you that drove, there were some that came from Oklahoma. And we had a fantastic turnout. We had some incredible, incredible stories. Stuff like that, Steve, keeps me going. Tell me a little bit about what you thought about last week.
Well, I just thought it was great. I'm always my own worst critic when it comes to me speaking and the meetings that I do, and I walked away from that meeting going, that was one of the best meetings we've ever done. It has nothing to do with me. It had everything to do with the audience. Everybody was so energetic. They were so excited about what this technology has done for them. Everybody, it seemed like everybody in that room wanted to share a story. The guests were like, okay, I need to get in because I don't want to miss this. And I thought to myself, Austin, Texas needs to do this every single week. And where you live, somebody needs to do it in your city like you every single week because it's energizing and it's inspirational. And it was really, really, really fun when we walked out of there. Crystal, I know you felt the exact same way.
I thought it was amazing. I really did. And the energy from like beginning to end, from welcoming people to like hearing their
Mhm.
stories of how they got invited to just how attentive the whole crowd was. And then the stories, Steve. The stories were the biggest part for me. I agree with you. I have never felt so moved. And Carrie, you did an
Yeah.
awesome job too. Carrie taught the demo on stage. She was just like, this is what we do. And then had people doing it to each other. And it was really awesome to see.
What you guys got to realize is that Carrie doesn't just do the demo. When she's up in front of a room, in front of a group like that, she is training everybody on how to do the demo. And I hope everybody got that, because, I have a tendency to just do the demo. But Carrie teaches the demo every single time that she does it. Even to the person that she's doing the demo to, she's teaching that person how to do it. So Carrie, hats off to you. One other thing, guys, there was a person in that room who was working with Terry Newsom, and she was working on the infomercials for the SuperPass company for the customer acquisition program. And she was telling us a little bit of insight on that. And she just said, she goes, Steve, this program is unbelievable. She goes, there is going to be books written about this company and the things that Jay has decided to do, because it's so different than what other network marketing companies are doing. But she said the success of this customer acquisition program is, she said, it's exceeding all of their expectations so far. And I had a talk with Terry Newsom today, as a matter of fact, and he was just laughing. He said, you guys just hold on. And I told him, I said, Terry, I said, our team has purchased their the tokens for the month of February, just like we did in January. But then somehow, some way, more tokens were made available in January. And I'm not sure, but Carrie, you're the one who heard about it first, or somebody heard about it first. And all of a sudden, like wildfire, our team knew about it. And so I called Terry today and just said, hey, are there going to be any more tokens released in the month of February? And he said, I can't tell you for sure. Yes. That's what he said to me. And I said, can you give me like a heads up? He goes, no, I can't do that. Sure. So you guys, please understand the in that we have with the corporate staff, because we really do have an in. And we get information before a lot of other teams. We're not the biggest team in this company, but they sure like us. They really, really do like us. And so I'll just be aware, you guys. I'm checking the back office every day. I know February is a short month, but he thought for sure that there would be more tokens available for us. And I think we all need to take advantage of that if it happens. Everybody's maxing out their program. Everybody be patient with it. But the key is make sure your team is getting those tokens as well. But anytime that you get a chance to buy extra tokens, do that. We had somebody on our team buy 100 of them last month. 100 extra tokens last month. So pretty good stuff. Carrie,
it's really exciting. Steve, when I was talking to Sue, that's her name, the lady that does all the infomercials, she and I are going to get together and discuss business and do things. And she was just wishing that she was with us. That's what people feel when they're around us. We have this one whole team. We do this whole thing together. But she was just like, I wish I would be on your team. I wish I could be doing this with y'all. And that's the kind of energy we put off. And so your confidence when you send people to the meetings that any of us host, under Steve's umbrella. Steve has a rather large umbrella. And you say we're not the biggest team. I want to say yet, Steve. Right?
Oh, I know.
There was a time and a place when we were at the beginning of this and we were running, and we're not done yet. We're all still here. We're pushing and moving, and it's going to happen when it's going to happen. And Steve's name will be brought up more than anybody else's in the company. I know it. But it's while all of us push together and push in. And so what's really cool is that, our team is eager. That's how I found out that there were extra tokens last month, because someone messaged me and said, hey, I just thought I'd try it. And I just got 4 more tokens. And I was like, no way. And so that's when I put the word out as soon as it got out. When Jay put something in that North American WhatsApp chat for VP that we're in, I give it to you as soon as it comes out. Today we didn't have a meeting. Jay's under the weather. So please, everyone, pray for Jay with all of the travel and everything up and down and around and everything. Just pray for him to feel better, and for the rest of the tours to go on as planned. But there is some incredible stuff happening amongst our people. And at this point, I want to ask you, I'm going to take 4 stories, because I know we have a lot. If you have a story to share, I need you to be one of the first 4 to put in up. And I want you to share past week, something we haven't heard yet, something that's just burning inside of you to share. And go. Hands up. Let's do it. Sherry, I saw your hand went up. Lori O'Brien. Sherry, I saw your physical hand. So you go ahead and share right now, and then we'll go with Lori O'Brien. So go ahead and unmute, Sherry.
Okay. I have a lady I just talked to today. She is in her 80s and she messaged me last month and said, "Hey, do these patches really work?" I said, "They really work." And so she could hardly get up to answer the door. She couldn't hardly move. She just thought for sure she needed to have something for all that pain. And we did the demo on her. She was super excited. And I said, "I don't think you need to have the pain one. I think you need the Liberty one." And she's like, "No, I need the pain one." I said, "Well, we're going to try the Liberty one because I really feel like you need the Liberty one." And she wanted to defend on top of it. And she had me come over today and she's like, "I am so in love with these patches. I didn't need the pain when the Liberty took away all of my joint pain." And I just thought that was fantastic because these patches say one thing, whatever we're allowed to say on those packages, but they do so much more and on an individual level. I just love that.
I love that too, Sherry. Thank you for sharing that. I also had a conversation with someone and I said, you're really going to need Liberty along with it. And you know, when they order as a customer on SmartShip, they get a free 4-pack of Liberty. Did you guys know that? Yeah. So which is really great. So they get to pair it and try it. And this happened to be for her child for Focus. So we had a conversation today. She was able to do the demo so I could show her how fast it works, right? Because people are like, I don't know if it's working. Well, when you have Liberty, you know that it's working. And that's where the confidence comes from. So thank you, Sherry, for sharing that. Like, man, people do need these patches. Lori O'Brien, and then I'm going to do Bob and Angie because I'm literally only taking 4. And then I'll remember Jamie and Dr. Iman at the end. Lori, go ahead, unmute and share with me a story you
All
had.
right. Well, first off, this is how busy I've been. I've been in my jacket since I got back from the airport at 7 o'clock this morning. I've never even gotten to take it off. So last week I demoed my cardiologist. She was blown away. My pediatric doctor for 38 years, she was blown away and requested more information. I did a woman outside the pediatric office, called her up. She said that she goes, "Lori, I think that patch did something." I said, "Well, what do you think it did?" She says, "Well, I have neuropathy in my feet and they didn't hurt as bad." She goes, "But now they're killing me." And I says, "Oh, so you mean it dulled the pain?" And she goes, "That's the word, yes." And then I had another woman who could barely stand, who's getting ready to order patches where the doctors have given her no hope whatsoever with all her ailments. She has a cousin of MS, which is called Mad Sam. And I thought she was going to cry in the restaurant. She said, "The doctors have told me no hope." And she said, "We've been praying for something." She goes, "Thank you for opening your mouth." So it's been a good week and I've been nonstop.
That's awesome. I know you have. And my internet was out, so we weren't able to Zoom, but we got through it through texting back and forth for everything coming up. I can't wait to see you next month for your meeting and with Debbie with the meeting she has set up. But Lori, keep it up because
I'm trying.
people are praying. If we don't open our mouth, someone else will, right? Yeah, I was at church yesterday and I actually told someone who I knew him when he was in junior high and he's going to school to be a physical therapist. And Mark Kowicki, I talked about you and I talked about your story and I was so thankful that I had your story of being a physical therapist to share with someone going to college to learn and be like, hey, this will really help you get started. But you know what I told him, Lori? I said, if I don't tell you this, somebody else will. So our urgency, no matter what their response may be, has got to be, if I don't share it with you, I've missed a moment. Thank you for sharing that, Lori. Bob Bryan, please unmute and share with us a story you have about a testimony this past week or so.
Okay, well, I got 2 things quick here. But first of all, new faces on here. I love that. That's so great. Exciting stuff. Welcome, everybody. So, Carrie, as you know, I've been working, and some of you heard the story last week or whatever about me working with a friend of mine who been my friend forever, and she's just got her knee replaced. And following up with her, I'm going to cut to a certain part here where she said, "Hi, I told my friend Teresa about the patches, and she wants to also share with her chiropractor. She took photos of the brochure, gave her one of the patches to try. Yay." And then I said, "Good job. Do you still want to be a customer or a customer who gets paid? I have a ton of options for you. Let's get you on the record. I understand about fixed income. That's my situation as well. And then how are you feeling? Pain's improving a lot. Blah, blah, blah. Got the bike. Let's move on from that. And then at the very bottom of her response to me was, like to earn some money. So Carrie and I are going to be on the phone with her tomorrow, and her friend Teresa, who, took pictures of the brochure, is also interested in making some money. So that was pretty exciting. I feel really good. Now let me go down here to another paragraph I put in there. Yes, perhaps I could invite a friend who is smarter than I, who can more intelligently answer all of your questions. What day and time do you think would work for both of you? I was referring to someone, but I'll accept Carrie instead. Oh, my girl, Carrie, I love you to pieces. Now, I believe it was Friday afternoon, and Mary's been wanting to do this for a long time. We do have a natural food store up here, and a guy also owns one in Merrill. And she kind of pushed me a little bit, go talk to him. So we're going to end up having an event at the natural food store up here in Miami. So proud of that.
Here.
And far out, rock on.
I love it, Bob. I love it. I loved reading those texts from you, and I remembered telling you, I'm not ignoring you. As soon as I read it, I'll reply. You guys had a lot going on this week, and you shared it, and you're excited. So I want you to know I heard you, and I'm super excited about the four-way call tomorrow. That'll be a first for us to have a four-way with two guests like that. So that'll be fun, and thank you for being flexible with doing that on a call versus a Zoom, because I'll be in the car tomorrow. We're traveling.
That's no problem.
Yeah. And I love that. And it takes just talking to people. That's all you do. And thank you for continuing to do that, Bob. I appreciate it. Angie, I'm going to let you share, and then I'm going to come back to the others of you because I have a couple of things I want us to get through. Go ahead, Angie.
All right. So I've been going through a lot of things here since about December the 6th, when I found out one of my family members got scammed out of $500,000. And I had to become a forensic accountant, and I had to deal with their lack of not understanding. And I think we're actually with them.
No.
So I've been really on top of things, trying to get them to the doctor, things like that. And it was probably at the end of January. My daughter and my mom said to me, "How are you getting through this?" And I said, "Honestly, I don't know." And then I said, "Yes, I do know. I'm wearing the peace patch and the joy patch." And I said, "Those things are saving my life right now and my sanity." So They work. When I don't wear them, I just sit in my house and don't do anything. But when I do wear them, I'm able to deal with him, deal with the constant dementia, the losing passwords, the spending money. So, man, they work. But it's been an ordeal, I want to tell you.
Yeah. Not only do they save you, they save others.
Yes. And trying to get him to wear them is just a little bit difficult because he doesn't remember, but I'll get there.
Well, I've missed seeing you and hearing from you because I knew something was going on, but know that we're thankful that you're here, and we're always here. We're always here for you. Whatever you need, let us know, okay?
Thank you.
Absolutely. We'll be praying for you. Everybody lift up Angie. My mom called me up today, Angie, and she said a friend of hers has 2 to 3 years to live. She's got Alzheimer's, and it irritates me because her family knows about these patches, and you want them to wear it. You want them to have that best quality of life while they're here, right? But you can't force it. You absolutely can't force it. And I know that that's something that touches many of you. So I'm going to run through a couple of things. Dr. Iman, I promise I'm not ignoring you, okay? I will come back to you. I wrote your name down, and Jamie as well. Okay, really quick. Tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. Central Standard Time, we are going to have a Miracle Moments training. It will be action-packed. Crystal has an entire plan, layout, all this stuff to do by the end of the week. And so if you're sitting at home working this business full-time, okay, hop in, even if you're part-time. Debbie Cromwell, where are you at? She hops in on her, like, I don't know what she's doing. I feel like it's during her actual work day because I see her interact with students and people. So I want to feel like it's a break, but I know it's not fully a break. But she's in there. You know, James Jones, I see you on here. I know you're a school teacher also. If you have a minute from, 10 to 11 in the morning, hop on and see what you can do, because when we come together this last of the week, guys, it is pressure. It is intense and it is intentional. And so that's what you're going to get tomorrow. Crystal, will you do a quick reminder of Amazing Patch Stories, please?
So amazing. Oh, my tongue just went all weird. Amazing Patch Stories, Real People, Real Results is our referral building machine. But there's more to that group than just us putting people in there and hoping that they're going to see a testimony. Okay. So, real quick, I'm going to run you through how to use that group. You get invited to that group by your sponsor, which is the person who brought you in. You have to join the group. Okay. Once you're in the group by invitation, and that's important that you have to be invited to the group. And that's why we don't post just the link anywhere, because when you're invited to the group, we can see who added you. So then when you add people to the group, and those people would be current customers, current downline associates, potential people that you've talked to about the products, people you think might just be interested in the products. There's a lot of people that see success with cold adding, which means just inviting people. And if they want to be in the group, they join. And if they don't, they just brush it along. So then you make sure you invite your people. Now, if any of those people invite people, or any of the people you invited comment, I can go back, or our admins can go back into the list, and we can say, okay, Carrie invited Crystal. We see that. So Carrie would be the next associate in line to talk to the person who just commented because she added that person. Does that make sense? The reason I say that is it's important because there's a lot of different testimony groups out there on Facebook, but none of them are run in the way that this group is run. This group is a referral building machine, but that also requires it to have a structure and strategy and a lot of observation. Like, we pay attention to that group all day, every day. There are a few of us admins that are constantly in there monitoring whether or not the posts are positive, making sure that they're compliant, making sure that customers or potentials that, ask questions or comment get answered and directed back to the associate who add them. We make sure that you guys aren't being cross recruited in there. We make sure that no one's being spammed in there. There's a lot of things that go into play in that group to ensure that your people are safely getting back to you, and you're not just adding them to this wormhole group that any potential associate or other company could pick up and start marketing to. So it's really important there. But your intentional action in that group, your intentional interaction in that group is super, super important, because the more we post our testimonies, our stories, the more people see, even if they're not actively in that group or have even accepted the invite yet, and the more support we offer to one another. The other thing too is you've got your testimony, your story cup. Okay. Like, when people are like, okay, I go somewhere to get my cup filled. Well, Amazing Patch Stories group and the Zoom is like a place where you can fill up that story cup. And so when you go out and you have a conversation with any one person, you always have a story that can relate back to what the patches can do for that person or for you, because we can't relate to every one person, right? So that group allows us to say, oh, I remember seeing a testimony about that. I think it was Lori Radecki who said she tells her people, get in there and read at least 4 or 5 testimonies every single day. So that way you can interact with the group, and that way you always have a new story to tell. So when you're in different situations, you have something to share. Oh, you know what? My friend Bob said something about that. My friend Erica just posted about that. I heard that my friend Carrie's son needed that for this. We always have a story to share. Okay. So that group is always helping you to build your referral system, or build you referrals. And it's always building, or we're always working in there to put the product and the solution in front of people. And now we're starting to trickle in even the business opportunity. But we need everyone to interact, everyone to invite to that group. Don't think about it. Don't be too harsh on yourself. We'll talk more about this tomorrow. But just invite people to that group and watch it work for you.
Yeah, I love it. Crystal, thank you for setting that up, and thank you for teaching us, even as admin, how to run it. One thing I will tell you, I could have missed this if you said it or didn't say it, but that group is not a place to ask questions as an associate. Okay. I just want to put that blanket statement. So if you went into Amazing Patch Stories and you in fact asked a question, we removed it. Like, we didn't allow that to get approved. But those kind of questions can go into Miracle Workers. Okay. As associates, we know that if you're speaking to someone personally in a message or on the phone or face to face, you can say, I don't know, but I can find. In that group, we don't want you looking like you don't know. We want you to be the expert getting people information. So does that make sense? Ask those questions in Miracle Workers Facebook page. That is for associates only, not in front of all of the other potential customers. Now, one thing that I want us to talk about is it's February 24th. There are just a few hours left in the month, it feels like. 28 days. This is the longest, like, shortest, whatever. I'm flustered by it. You can tell, because my goals, the things I had set out to do, aren't there. So even getting on a Zoom sometimes on a Monday night, you're like, oh, well, come on. And so one of the things I asked Steve to do, and Steve, you're going to have to unmute for this, but before you get started talking, I want you to think of your questions that you may have, because after he's done, we're going to open up for Q&A after I hear from Dr. Iman and Jamie. So Steve is going to tell you, it's the last week of the month, and how he pushes through the tips for building your business and making the most of the last few days we have. Steve, go ahead.
Yeah, I want everybody to throw away their REM patches, because you're not going to need them the next 4 days, because nobody is sleeping. Whose idea was it to put 28 days in 1 month? That was a horrible idea. That is, the same person who did that created daylight savings time. It just doesn't make any sense. Okay, so the question is, what do we do? What do we do to close this month out? And I honestly feel like I say this every month at this time. But it can't. What we're doing here, what I'm going to tell you, it can't just start at the end of the month. Guys, I'll be honest with you. What I'm about to tell you has got to start on the 1st of every month. And on the 1st of every month, and going through every day of the month as you move through the month, you have got to know who you're working with. You got to figure this out. You guys have got to be looking in your organizations going, okay, I need to help this person become a team leader. I need to help this person become a director. I need this person to qualify as a vice president. Do you have those people picked out? I'm not going to, it's a rhetorical question, so don't raise your hands or anything. But if you don't know that on the 24th of February, you have to know who that is. Because if you're trying to get to the next rank promotion, you have to figure out who's going to be the team leader that you need in this leg, and who's going to be the director in this leg, and so on. You have to know that. And I've said this a zillion times. I will never ask you guys to do something that I'm not doing myself. And I rewrite my lists constantly. I've got 45 names right here. There's 15 names on each sheet. I've got 3 sheets. They're all completely full. And I'm looking at, these are the prospects. These are the people that I need to close by the end of the month. And I'm looking at, I took the names off this list, put them on a smaller piece of paper, and those are the names that I'm concentrating on. And I've got 6 people that I am going to get in the business in the next 4 days. It's just a given. So you sit back and go, okay, well, Steve, how are you going to do that? I'm going to leverage them in. I'm going to leverage them in. Now, they don't even get from this list to this list. This is my short list, unless I am pretty confident that I can leverage them in. And when I say leverage them in, they're coming in, but I have to push them maybe just a little bit, because I've had a couple of these people go, well, I think I'm just going to wait till the 1st of the month. You know what I tell them? I said, you can't. I said, listen, you know how this game works. I need you in February. I need you in February. And they're like, oh, okay, Steve. Don't agree with them. Don't let people sit back and push you around and say, well, I think I'll just wait till the first of the month and then I'll have a fresh start. No, your fresh start starts today. It starts today. I want you in because you get me. And I want you guys to be saying this to your people too. They get you. I mean, everybody that I bring in the business, I flat out tell them. I said, listen, you're talking to a guy who's had a little bit of success in this business, and you get me full time. But I need something from you. I need you to get in, and I need you to come in with one of the top 2 launch kits. And I know some of you are going, yeah, but they can't afford it. Then we go to number 3. Then we go to number 4. I don't let anybody come in with the $299 kit. I'm like, I literally tell them not to buy that kit. I said, listen, if it's a money issue, come in for $40 and just buy the patches you want. Because the $299 kit the quick kit you don't get enough patches. Okay? So I start off by telling them, I need you, you get me, but here's what I need from you. I need you to enroll with one of the top 2 launch kits, and then we work our way down if that's an issue. But I will tell them, I said, listen, I need you to enroll tonight because I've got somebody that I'm going to put underneath you. And they're like, okay. And it kind of lights a fire underneath them. And then I go to the next name on my list and say, listen, I need you to enroll tonight. I need you to come in with one of the top 2 launch kits. And what do you get for that? Number 1, you get me. You get me full time. Let me help you build your business full time, but I'm going to put 2 people underneath you. And they're like, what? And they go, okay. So then I go to the next name on my list. I said, listen, I need you. I need you tonight. I need you to come in with one of the top 2 launch kits because that's going to set you up for success. You get me full time, and I'm going to put 3 people in your organization. But I need you to get in right now. And then I go to the next name on my list. And I said, listen, I need you in. I need you to come in with one of the top 2 launch kits. You get me full time, and I'm going to put 4 people in your organization. Are you in or are you out? I need to know right now. And listen, for a lot of people, it's hard for them to talk that way. But you have to learn to. People want to be told what to do, and you can force the issue. Okay? Just don't put somebody in and, demand something from them. I will also tell them, I said, listen, I'm going to put some people in your organization, but I need you to, we're going to put 2 other people in your group before the end of the weekend. And they're like, okay. So you guys, between now and the end of the month, figure out who the people you need to follow up with. Okay? Organize yourself. Take them off your main prospect list, put them on your short list, and leverage them in. And let them know that they get you. And you can also say, and you get whoever your upline is. You got a bunch of people who are going to help you. And you guys, everybody on this Zoom, you can say Steve Schultz. You can say you got Steve. He's been doing this for 35 years. And I look at, the names and the faces on this Zoom right now. And the amount of 3-way calls that I've been doing this month is remarkable. And the success that we're having, I'm like, why in the world don't people do this every day? It's a 12-minute call. Get your people on a 3-way call with your upline. I don't care who that upline is or me or Kara. I don't care who it is. But you need that third-party credibility. Yes, you can do it yourself, but the third party is what, it just seals the deal. Okay? So you guys, between now and the end of the month, don't give up. Don't ever say to yourself, okay, I'm gonna hit it on the first of the month. Really? No. You're gonna do it now. You're gonna figure out who these people are that you need to close, and you're gonna do it. Okay? As I was talking to you guys just now, I just got a text message. Hey Steve, sorry, I'm just getting this now. We're ready to go. Just got the text message. Because I said to them earlier today, I need you. And I need you to come in with one of the top 2 launch kits because I've got somebody I'm putting underneath you. Sorry, Steve, just got this. It's been a rough day. We're ready to go. Boom. Figure out who those people are. close them into the business, and have that sense of urgency that you are not going to fail. Failure is not an option type of thing. Whatever goals you guys set for the month of February, I don't want you to forget those. And so many people do. It's like a New Year's resolution. It's like, okay, I'm going to put 6 people in the business this month. And all of a sudden it's the February 24th and you haven't put 1 in yet. So you know how you rectify that? You put in 1, not 6. Go get 1. You haven't failed because you didn't put 6 people in. Go get 1. And then try to get another 1. And then try to get another, whatever the case may be. And then when March 1st comes around, it's like, okay, deep breath. We're going to start all over again. What are the goals for the month? And then you start over. But between now and the end of the month, you guys, I don't know. I'm having a really time sleep. Last night was no exception. So, Carrie, let's hit it hard.
So I just heard Steve say that all these kids are leaving out of my house right now. Bye, guys. Bye. I heard him say that he's putting someone in the business tonight. So if you've been working closely with Steve and you're one of the brand new people he promised some people to come in your downline, you better get on the phone with him and be like, hey, I'll go put someone in. Let me have that person, because strategic placement, Steve, it falls real deep. So
absolutely,
texting you being like, hey, if I put someone in, will you help me out? That's just the way that works. So thank you for that, Steve. If you don't have anyone in your holding tank, you cannot have that conversation. Okay? That doesn't eliminate you from this learning tip, but when you get to building and doing and going through it, you have people you can use for leverage. In the meantime, you let people know this has changed your life. This has changed someone else's life. This has done this. And all I need is for you to help me get the word out. And if you love to help other people, I'd love to help you do that. And you can make money. You can make your phone bill. You can start as low as that. I have come to understand that not very many people want to make thousands here yet. Yes, a lot of us have that goal. But when I have that conversation with people up front, it hits better on ears. And I'm like, you want to learn how to pay for your patches? You want to learn how to maybe make your car payment? You want to make make enough for a vacation in the summer? Just think about where you are, align with people, be empathetic, and into the you got walking through Momentum, then Omni, Omega, then Pan Am, then I'm with Steve on the Quick Kit. I just don't. I skip right down to the $40. Let them go pick what they want. And in fact, if there's any pushback, I go, you know what? You go get this $40 link. If you want to sell this, you're going to. And then go order whatever you want. Make your own kit. There's nothing wrong with that. Get them set up on SmartShip. My final tip for all of you for this week, make sure you're on SmartShip so you can participate in the CapEx program. In order to get those tokens in March, you have to have a $90 SmartShip set up right now. Also, if you're new here, as you grow and build a team like Steve has talked about, you have to be on a $90 SmartShip to be able to make commissions off of your downline. Okay? You can never build a team the day in your life and make 25% off of customers, but you're selling yourself short. So the other thing I'll tell you about that $90 SmartShip, when you have that and then you go get 3 friends that also want to use these patches, when they get on $90 SmartShip, you get 2 come free to you every month. To me, that's worth everything. Like, get in the business, order your 2 packs you're going to use if that's all you're going to use. Most people on this screen, I'm probably certain, I could be lying, I'm going to say they're shaking their heads now going, oh yeah, they use at least 4, 5, 6 a month, I'd say. Oh yeah, look, here's the hand. Some are like at least 5. And if you have a bigger family, there's more going out. And don't you guys love that you can get them for free if you go get 3 people to also get on SmartShip? So just make sure you do that. But I think we could really change the world with SmartShip. Steve, you and I talked about this earlier today. If everyone that we ever put in just got on a $90 SmartShip and we taught them to go get other people to do that, just to get free packs of patches, Jay would be like, okay, you guys are building $1 billion whatnot with just SmartShip. We'd be like, yeah, we are. We're doing that. So anyhow, that's very important as far as what you need to do to be successful. At the end of the month, follow up with everyone. Have those conversations with everyone. I have people that get in my inbox and ask me for samples. I'm selling them short if I go to the post office and send them 2 or 3. all of our studies are 14 days. So I always suggest that they go in and order, because I don't want them to use it for 2 days and tell me it didn't work. Will the demo work 100% of the time? Yes. Like, we know the other patches start working, but if the science says it takes 14 days to get that hydrocodone out of your system, or whatever it is, for you to really feel the REM patch and all the stuff that, we talk about, that the professionals talk about. I'm sure, Dr. Iman, you roll your eyes at me the whole time because you know all of the science and everything, and here I am blubbering. But if that's what's being said, that's as well as I can repeat it. Like, look, I'm gonna do you a disservice. So I had 2 people do that this week. They asked me for samples, but I said, look, go order. And they went and ordered. Now they're excited about it coming in. And I go, just give it the 28 days. Give it the 28 days and get your money back if it didn't work. However, all that works that the company takes care of. Okay, thank you so much for that, Steve. Thank you, Crystal, for putting in about amazing patch stories. And now I want to get to Dr. Iman. Go ahead and unmute and share with me a story that you have, or whatever it was you were going to do earlier.
Hi, everyone. Sorry. So I had in my clinic a guy come, and he was like smoking cigarettes, and between one cigarette and the other, he was smoking a vape.
Oh, wow.
So like he is smoking continuously. And I started him on the patches for Kick It, and I intentionally was doing a session for his sister, and I intentionally extended the session a little bit so he stays in front of my eyes for 2.5 hours after I patched him without a smoke.
Wow.
And his mind was blown with it. And he was like, I've never done that for the last 13 years.
Wow.
So at that night, he only smoked 4 cigarettes, and he didn't smoke the vape whatsoever. Today, while we were having the meeting, he just texted me that today is like the 8th day on patches, and he only smoked 8 cigarettes for the whole day.
Wow.
I'm so proud of him. I am really so proud of him.
So tell everyone, Dr. Iman, a little bit about yourself, please. I want everybody just to hear your expertise for a minute, because when this woman speaks, she knows our stuff.
So I work with frequency, and I have been exposed to an accident a few years ago that smashed the meniscus in both of my knees, and I had to go through very painful surgeries, and they're very bloody surgeries. And I was told that within a couple of years I should be coming back, or a year, I should be coming back for knee replacement. It was very hard walking or trying even to do anything with bone-on-bone knees. So I started helping myself by researching, and I found out about pulsing electromagnetic frequency and far infrared and photon therapy and gemstone therapy, all of frequencies that help to tune, like literally like tuning your body frequencies to the right frequency so that the stem cells come and start rebuilding the body. And I created my own devices, and now I have my clinic in Salt Lake, and I'm treating people with it. But the point is, when I'm treating people, the frequency aligns everything and helps the body. But in between treatments, like they come to me once a week, in between treatments, they would deteriorate a little bit. And then the next session, we would go back to a level and then go forward. But now I'm using them patches that I keep the level that I have put them at during that session. And next week, I'm building on top of that. So their rate, like instead of getting complete healing of a frozen shoulder within 4 sessions, I had my guy today with a frozen shoulder. He was like moving full range, and he had it above his ear. This is the second session. And he is on the Liberty and the pain patch, And also, I put a piece does not stay in my clinic more than 24 hours. It is like I dispense gold with it or something, I don't know, but everybody is stressed. Everybody is stressed. And stress increases the cortisol levels in our body. When cortisol increases, inflammatory responses in our body increases. And that leads to elevated blood pressure. That leads to increased cortisol, cholesterol levels, and also it affects our metabolism. So people have cold limbs, cold feet, and there is like 90% of the population have like issues with their adrenal. They have something called adrenal fatigue. So this peace patch is phenomenal. I sent it to Egypt to my sister, who is under so much stress. And she called me after 3 days. She was like, the calmness and the peace I am in are not explainable. I cannot tell you how it helped me. Her blood sugar level dropped to normal in 3 days. So this peace patch for me in my clinic, it goes like that. Like I just ordered a $600 order through my account for as a provider. I'm out. I have to order tonight another patch, another.
Debbie, we've been trying to tell her to get that a momentum pack, haven't we? You just got to get, you can't keep that stuff around you. Thank you
But the
so much.
momentum doesn't have the specific tailored ones that I need for my profession.
True.
That's the problem. If they could give me the number of patches,
Yeah.
but I could tailor the ones that I want, like if it is 25 patches, but 25 of the ones that I want, then yes, I could do this. But there are ones that gonna sit on my shelf. So that's the problem.
Until you go to that big event that you guys are going to have. Thank you so much for sharing. I'm actually going to get Debbie Cromwell. Debbie, unmute for a second, because you guys got to follow along with how this lady with all this information just walks up into our lives. So, Debbie had been doing the business with me before. You guys have heard her story. If you haven't, she, just went on about life and didn't really start doing much with it until she realized she was looking for something. She was needing some hope in an area. And then she popped back into my life at the right time in the right place whenever we had the, if you come in with the momentum kit, you win the Cancun trip, you and the person that enrolls you. So I'm super excited that Debbie gets to go there with me. But Debbie, I want you to talk about how you met Dr. Iman.
So I actually, you guys had the meeting in Dallas and I was in the hospital. And that following weekend, I had a vendor and it was raining outside, right, Doc? It was raining outside and I was like, and I was hurting so bad, like moving, just doing anything. And every time I was doing a demo there, I was in so much pain. I went around to see if there was anybody. I don't think I told you this, Doc, but I went around to see if there was anybody that would match up with the patches. And so went around and I looked at her. She was also a vendor, and I looked and saw what she was doing, and it was all
I
like
was
this
offering
natural-
free sessions on that day.
Yes, and it was all this natural stuff, and I was like, "Wow, this looks like it could go hand in hand." And then I approached her and did the test and did all that stuff. So yeah, it was pretty cool.
But on that night, she gave me a sample patch. No, actually, I bought from her the pain patch. She put the Liberty one on me, and I bought from her a patch for pain.
For freedom,
On that
yeah.
night, when I went home, I slipped and I twisted my ankle and I twisted my tendon Achilles to the extreme. Like I had the bathroom mat wrap around my foot and it took my foot 180 degree. It was around 1 p.m. Everybody in the house was sleeping. I was sleeping in a separate wing. So I am so far from anybody could hear me. I didn't have my cell phone with me. And I crawled to the bed, and there was that patch sitting on the nightstand. God creates everything for a reason. He even gets us to meet people for a reason. And I put that patch so I could endure until my husband wakes up and he takes me to the emergency room. Without this, I was screaming and crying like a baby. I put that patch and I slept for 3 hours until at 6 o'clock my husband woke up and I screamed to him to come and help me go to the emergency room. And I was in a metal boot for some time. But I
And
treated
just
myself with my devices and all of that, and I healed fast.
And what's cool is that she actually we've done some vendor events together, and
Yeah.
she's told that story to customers about what it did. It helped relieve the pain so she could get to the doctor to get help. So it was pretty cool.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
on that day we were on fire, girl.
Wow, that is awesome. I hope you feel what I'm feeling right now with it, which is just alive with a new story, a new voice to share, and Doctor, I mean, you got to get in and go share yourself an amazing patch story. So thank you so much for sharing tonight. I want to get over to Jamie, and then I want us to get to our Q&A time. And yeah, man, y'all, I could go on and on and on and on and on. Okay, that's awesome. All right, Jamie, what story do you have about the patches from this past week with a good testimony you want to share?
So I'll explain the best I can. Steve might have to jump in because, Steve's he's like my savior for everything. I cannot tell you guys enough how important three-way calls are. So Steve and I did a three-way call last week. I can't remember what day it was. I think it was Monday before he went to Austin. And then Friday, he met my friend in person. It's another Wisconsin person. And did the balance test on her. They met at, I think at Panera they met. Did the balance test on her, of course, was successful, and he put a pain patch on her. Freedom, I always called the pain patch. He put the freedom patch on her, and they're talking, and she's had chronic back pain. And 10 minutes into their talk, she stops Steve, and she's like, "Oh my gosh," she's like, "My pain's gone." He's like, "I know." So anyway, that was an amazing story, and she's actually going to be coming into the business tomorrow. We just talked to her again. So she was just going to be a customer. Now she's planning on coming into the business tomorrow. I'm signing her up. And then also I'm just super excited because I got my first referral from my stepmom, who was my first customer. I got my first referral and signed up a new customer all by myself the other day. So I'm just super excited. Everything is happening so fast.
I love it. Thank you for sharing that. I appreciate that. Hey, Mark Pawicki, are you on here? I wanted you to talk about your Zoom you're going to have on Wednesday. Mark, are you here?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, yes, yes. Will you please tell everyone about the Zoom on Wednesday, and then we're going to get that posted to Miracle Workers also.
Yeah, I got to get up for a post. So, hey, everyone. So, if you guys don't know me, Mark Pawicki, I'm a physical therapist. So, I'm doing a Zoom. It's actually with a couple of other people, but it's going to be mostly about the Zoom. We're going to be talking about if you got anyone's familiar with Juice Plus, but anyways, my Zoom is going to be around kind of more about the science and how to utilize the patches from a wellness perspective. So I'm not getting into, it's not like a business opportunity Zoom. It's going to be basically talking more about, not only my story, how I use it with my patients, and how wellness is just getting a little bit better each time. For those of you guys that were kind of down in Florida or Orlando and heard Mark McDonald talking about like 1%, it's like I tell my patients, it's like, it's not just getting out of pain. If you get a little more sleep, if you have a little less stress, anxiety, if you have a little more mobility, you have a little more peace in your life, if you keep your numbers down below 5 out of 10. But anyways, that's kind of what I'm talking about. So I will post it in Miracle Workers. It's going to be more the blueprint approach about how to use these patches in your life to be successful, which is a whole other piece of this. It's not, we want to make money in doing this, but people need to know the origin of kind of, how to use them. And I don't think people appreciate them enough. which I do, and you get to hear my own personal story, which is like literally starting from ground zero, and how these patches kind of brought me back when I wasn't able to before. So anybody has any questions, they can reach out to me directly, but I'll post it in Miracle Workers hopefully tonight, and you guys will have that information. You just have to register. It's going to be live and it's going to be on Zoom. So I don't think a lot of you are going to be flying out to see me in Massachusetts, but feel free if you want.
I wish I could, Mark. I love that. And you know what I love that you're doing is you're bringing multiple things into the room, which is what everybody on here does that does in vendor events, right? When you do a vendor event, you have multiple people that come in and you're sharing and you got a lot of stuff to look at. And I feel like what you're showing us is how to even navigate something like that via Zoom. And I think you're really on to something, Mark, talking about these patches, having other people share, and it just light bulb went off. Crystal, write it down, like why we couldn't do Zoom vendor setups. How many of you I'm sure maybe during the past 4 years at the beginning of it, something that went on, it would have been great. And everybody could be like, hey, this is what's helping here. Hey, this is what's helping here. Because there's so many things that we all do. You know, I know Dr. Iman, I'm going to bring my mom up to see you to talk about the technology you created. And so, Mark, I love that you're doing that. I love that you're going against the flow, and not necessarily against the flow, but you're stepping outside of the box and you're going to put this on. So I can't wait to watch it on Wednesday. If you want me to, Mark, I'll post the information you sent me. Would that be helpful, Mark, for me to do that in Miracle Workers?
Yeah, that'd be super helpful. Yeah, yeah, because I sent you the whole. Well, how about this? Let me send you the whole link that I sent to people. Then you can just actually post that, and it'll have the link to sign up for people.
Let's do that.
So,
because
yeah,
I registered for it. It's real easy, guys. You put your name, your email, and then you get a Zoom information at the end. Don't spend money hopping on a plane unless you make $30,000 a month. Then I suggest it would be a fun trip. They've got great food over in Massachusetts. But thanks again, Mark, for sharing. I appreciate you, and I look forward to seeing what comes of this, because we have to touch every route that there is. You know, a lot of you, if Debbie Cromwell, like Dr. Iman said, God places people in the right place at the right time. Had she had not gone to that event, that connection might have not made it here on our Zoom tonight, right? If you guys don't post on social media and someone sees it, that connection might not have made it here, so all of that's going to be posted tomorrow. It's on me Wednesday night. We're going to post that in Miracle Workers, so we'll handle that. Now I'm going to take the last 10 minutes of this 10 minutes. I'm looking at my clock right now to do Q&A. And Lori O'Brien, I see your hand is up. Thank you all so much for sharing what you did tonight. You want to stick around for this because it might be a question you haven't thought of.
May I ask a question of Dr. Iman?
Absolutely.
I I wanted to know, my sister has a frozen lung. Is what you do, would that be able to help her?
Yes. Shortly,
Okay.
yes. It takes time, and it will require her teach them some technique. First, it's not about money, as Mark said, it is about helping people. So I'm going to give you a tip now for everybody. Van Hoff breathing.
Van Hoff.
Let her research and do that breathing technique to start with. I have helped patients with emphysema. I've helped patients with post-COVID syndrome, which everybody has heard about, the continuous nonstop cough because of the lung capacity has been affected. And let her start with the Van Hoff breathing. And if that doesn't work, definitely let her call me and I could help her.
Okay, thank you very much.
You are
My
more than
aunt
welcome.
also is getting ready to go back to a doctor about her shoulder. They had to give her 2 surgeries, and she's totally beside herself.
Surgeries, no surgeries,
She
please.
had 2. They've messed her all up.
After the surgery, there is always fibrous tissue that forms in the place of the incision on the surgery, and that fibrous tissue will be more painful than the issue with the shoulder.
Okay. We'll swap numbers. I'll send you my number
Definitely.
in message here.
Definitely.
Thank you so much.
You are more than welcome, my love.
Look at that connection. We all just learned something. Also, I have heard with like long COVID issues, Dr. Iman, we haven't even had this conversation yet, and I've seen it. Liberty and defend for sure. Liberty, defend,
Yes,
and peace. Yeah, and in the
definitely.
meantime, and then what you have, and so that's one that actually
I'm
James
using Liberty and Defend on my cancer patients,
said.
and the cancer lesions are starting to heal.
Wow, wow, that's amazing.
I
Wow,
am putting them on, I'm experimenting with different combinations right now
yeah,
because the issues that I have with cancer patients is not just the pain that I am handling or the increasing of the antibodies. I want the immune system to wake up. And so defense helped me with that. Like I push the immune system on the session when they are on my devices, but it helps maintaining it to a desirable level throughout the week until they come the next session.
wow, wow.
So it is amazing.
That's incredible. That's worth staying on for the Q&A right there, y'all. That's incredible. Thank
But
you.
I'm still experimenting. I'm still experimenting.
Well, we will keep close to you as you go through that for sure. Be sharing with us as much as you can. I love it. Sherry, you have a question?
Well, I'm glad I stayed on because my daughter-in-law's been fighting cancer for 21 months. And so she doesn't want to use the patches, but I'm going to tell her this and see if she changes her mind. Steve, you were talking about average and then saying, hey, if you come in now, I don't have anybody to leverage with, but I just want to understand it. So when you were saying, hey, if you come in, I have one, and then you go to the next one. If you come in, I have two. So are you compounding those?
I'm
Is
putting
that
them.
what
I'm putting them in one straight line.
Yeah. So if the one comes in, you're putting them here, and then you just
Yeah.
gonna move them both underneath of that person, the next person,
Yeah.
and all
Yep.
three. Okay.
Yep.
So
I just
you can't, you can move them more than once while they're
No.
in a combination.
You can't
Right.
move them more than once. So you
Right,
got to
right.
get everybody in your holding tank, and then strategically move them, and you have to do it by the end of the month.
Okay, so the person that you're saying would get four, you'd move them first, and then you'd move the other one under that one and that one.
Yeah. And so
Okay.
on and so on and so on. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, thank you.
You got it.
Keeping that funnel full.
Yeah, and listen, you guys, you need one person in your holding tank to get it started. That's it. Start with one person and leverage one, and then and all of a sudden you've got two people coming in. So you go to the next person and say, hey, I've got two people that I can put underneath you. Now I've got three, now I got four. So you just need one to start with.
And we've done a strategic placement training on this. If you go into Miracle Workers and type in the search bar strategic placement, you will hear how to do that, because the last thing you want to do is put everybody on your front line. So when they come into your tank, you need to have these conversations quickly, because they end at the end of the month. If you enroll someone today, they leave on the last day of the month. You don't have 30 days like you used to move them. So everybody, that's over. You got to move them just about as soon as they come in. Sherry, does that answer your question?
Yes, but I have just a little more clarity. So if you have those people in there, and then you get another associate and another, you're going to wait until the very last day to move them around. They're going to be in your holding tank so that you can
Yes.
something like that.
Put them in there, and then all of a sudden you're looking at it going, okay, then you strategically put them in, good to go.
All right.
Just make sure you set an alarm. Don't forget.
Yeah, me.
Seriously, do it 2 days before the end of the month to make it happen. Yes, Mark, I can. I just got your message. Rona Sutton, thank you, Sherry. That's a great question. Rona, go ahead and unmute. You have a question for us or a welcome for someone?
Yes, a welcome for one of my newest associates, Yvonne Clemens.
Oh, welcome.
Yeah,
Awesome.
want to welcome her too, so if she can unmute. Yvonne?
Yvonne, where are you at? I just asked her to unmute. She might be cooking dinner, Rona.
Let me see if she's just on camera. Yeah, I did let her know. She's on mute. But team just wanted to welcome, so I guess we could put some hearts in the group for our new
Awesome. Thanks,
representative.
Rhoda.
And she's definitely.
Can y'all hear me now?
Oh yeah,
Yeah, we hear you.
definitely.
Well,
excited.
I'm here. Thank you so much for the warm welcome.
Well, we're glad you're here, Yvonne. If there's anything we can do, you got Rona's number, but you also have access to all of us, all right?
Okay.
Welcome to the best of
Sounds
the best.
good.
All right.
Sounds good. Well, I've already sold my first 8 freedom patches.
Nice. Good for you.
Yes.
Awesome.
Yes.
That's awesome. Yeah, get in and get going. That's our second motto, right? Our first
Yeah, I
one.
was listening to I can't think of his name. He was Steve.
Mm-hmm. Probably.
Yeah, I was listening to him about the lining the people up or whatever. I got to get to that area. I got to get to that point. It sounds like a very good plan.
That's right. I heard that you're going to get on a welcome call with Crystal Green tomorrow or later. And so she's going to let you know exactly what you need to do to get started on your right foot. Okay. So I'm super excited.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you, guys.
Rona, thank you for introducing her. That's fantastic. Congrats on a growing team.
Thank you.
All right. Omar, you're our last question.
So this is a question for the doctor. Oh gosh, please let me get over. So is the breathing technique that you chose to give to your clients, is that anything similar to the physiological side? And have you also tried for your cancer patients soursop leaves steeped in hot water, two cups of that per day for 2 weeks, and raw shell hemp seeds?
I could barely hear you. The voice is cutting. I'm sorry. You're far away from the mic and the voice is cutting. Did someone hear it?
Better? Can you hear me better?
Omar, it's cutting in and out. Will you type your question in Miracle Workers, please?
He's not.
Stop. Not right now. Will you do that tonight before you go to bed?
I will.
Thank you. Those of us in vehicles, we have to make sure everyone can hear us clear before we start talking. Be careful, Omar, and you can get that question in there. Okay, y'all. Listen, this has been a very successful, very good. I love hearing from you all on Monday night. Thank you so much. I mean, it was not on my radar tonight, Dr. Iman, for you to share and how that all came about. But I know God has a place and a time for all of us. And I'm glad that we're on here to hear this and to lean in together and just do this. We all feel the pressure. We all want to be at the top of the pyramid. We all want to be making $5,000, $10,000 a month. We all want to be doing this full time and getting on a Zoom tomorrow to just have flipping coffee, okay, on a yacht. There's dreams and there's goals that we have. And I just want you to know that we see you and we hear you. And if there's anything that we can do to help you be more successful, get in our inboxes, get on Miracle Workers, ask questions, get in Amazing Patch Stories, add people. We have so much gold for you. I'm going to pray for you tonight, and then we're going to get out of here. God, I ask you right now to be with all 49 people plus I see couples that are sitting on this Zoom as well. I just pray that you would just wrap your arms around them, that you would give them the wisdom they need in the moments that it comes up, that they wouldn't worry about what to say, but you would give them the words to say, that you would give them the right words to say, where maybe they just needed to give someone a hug that day and talk to them and didn't need to use the patches. Just give them the right knowledge that they need to make this work, God, the way that you want it. You brought it into our lives. You put us all in this place in this time. And I just pray for strength. I pray for rest, even though Steve jokes and says we don't need it. I pray that you give it to us as it comes. I pray that you fill everybody's pockets. I pray that everybody's able to get their patches that they need to wear, that you first and foremost will help them where they're at. Lord, bind us together as a team, increase this community so that we can make a huge impact on the world around us. Lord, we love you and we thank you. And we thank you for what's to come. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. You guys have a great rest of your night. Thank you all so much. I'm going to look in the chat really fast to answer this. No new news on Flow. No new news on Flow. Sorry, Yaz. No new news. is strategic placement video on Miracle Workers. Lori Land Trio. I don't know who Lori Land Trio is.
It's in our YouTube. It's on our YouTube channel.
It is on Miracle Workers. If you will just go and click search for strategic placement, it will come up. And yeah.
What
All right,
time?
getting
What
out of
time
here.
is that? What time is that Zoom on Wednesday with
6:30 Eastern.
Perfect. Good. Is that night then? Okay. Good.
6:30 Eastern. We're gonna post about it just as soon as we get off here. All right.
Okay,
you
perfect.
have a great rest of your night.
Thanks, Terry.
Bye.